Oh my gosh, cry me a river. Wait, Paula Abdul and Simon Cowell are going to get back together again? Is the civilized world ready for this?
Oh no, the Covenator and Maria Shriver have called it quits.
Well, welcome once again to Culture Clash, brought to you by Flood Brothers Disposal Service. Our great friends at Flood Brothers. I'm Chet Kopic, joined by
Catherine Saxon.
And right at the top.
Okay, here we go.
Let me tell you about Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And Maria. How Maria could live with that clown for all these years is beyond me.
It's beyond me. You know, when he first ran for governor, there were allegations of him groping women, and she stood by his side. So.
Certainly hope so.
But I mean, so there were even some sort of allegations at the beginning, but now his approval rating is down the toilet, and he's going down in history as one of the worst governors for California, and she is one of the best first ladies for governor, you know, for her health and women's issues. So I have to say.
All right, let me tell you all about Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
I'm in Akron, Ohio. This is about 1988, and I'm emceeing the
we only have
Mr.
15
Olympia.
minutes, so keep this quick.
Bang, zoom. I'm emceeing the Mr. Olympia contest. Schwarzenegger is my co-master of ceremonies, and we're doing this for ESPN.
Okay.
And Schwarzenegger will not appear on camera with me unless we bring out a box so that Arnold and Kopic are the same size. You know, Arnold's only about 5'9" or 5'10", although with the steroids, I mean, my gosh, he's built like a Mack truck. But Arnold is very conscious of how tall he is.
Right.
Which tells me that his ego is, shall we say, about that high up the ground.
High. Okay. Is
That's it. That's the best I can do on short notice.
I was thinking there was a punchline or something.
No, there is no punchline. I mean, except for the fact that it's not a lot of fun watching, guys at a weightlifting contest rub each other down with baby oil.
Okay.
Think about that.
Were you saying that in some way he didn't measure up to you? I thought that's where you were going.
He didn't measure up to me. I don't know. Well, but with the steroids, I'll guarantee you, he didn't measure up to me.
All right, Shriver, she posted a YouTube video really quick, and it looked like this woman had just rolled out of bed, gotten into a huge fight with her husband, and she, goes to America to ask, what do you do during a stressful transitional period?
Prozac.
What, don't you have close friends that you're going to ask that sort of question to? You're going to post a video on YouTube and you're not going to even brush your hair before you do it? I thought that was a little weird.
She looks so gosh darn bony. She looks anorexic to
Well,
me.
I guess, stress can affect your weight as well.
Well, I'm under perpetual stress, and
I was implying something.
Certainly hasn't affected me in the slightest.
Okay, so Mike Tyson, have you heard about his tattoo artist?
Yeah, and the tattoo artist is just looking for a PR score, wants to get his name in print, wants to have people like us talk about him. How is he going to get a motion picture company to not utilize Mike Tyson because he tattooed Mike Tyson? Explain that to me.
Okay, well, his name is Victor Whitmell, and he's suing Warner Brothers for the making of Hangover 2 to stop production of it because he actually is claiming that the tattoo is his proprietary design. So Warner Brothers would owe him some sort of compensation, and he actually copyrighted the tattoo when he put it on Mike's face. So he does somewhat have a legitimate case. I'm thinking major compensation is what's about to happen.
No, I think very, very minor compensation, a couple of $100 and free tickets to
a couple $100
to the Open. Let me ask you a really serious question.
Okay.
If you were really head over heels in love with a guy, and you were going to marry him, would you get his name tattooed on your booty?
You couldn't pay me. No, Warner Brothers couldn't pay me to do it. No, would not happen. Would you? Have you done it? Yeah, I know you've been down that.
What, with a booty this size?
I set myself up for
Jade
that.
Dragon wanted to have 3 tattoo artists work on me, for heaven's sakes.
It would take too long. You'd have to pay them. Okay, so...
I like to belch you.
Have you watched Celebrity Apprentice lately?
I do not watch Celebrity Apprentice because I find Donald Trump's hairdo to be revolting.
And this coming from the guy with this head of hair. Oh! Okay, so there was a 3-hour episode of Celebrity Apprentice last week, and
was Snooki on?
No, Snooki was not
Snooki's on everything right now.
But Nene Leakes, she's on another reality show called The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, her and Star Jones get into this huge cat fight, and she said that it was too stressful of a situation for her to be in. This is all, of course, for charity, the situation that's too stressful for her to be in, that she had to remove herself. And what's funny is at the end of this, Star Jones gets fired anyway. So it's like after all that, this high commotion, Star Jones gets fired anyway. Meanwhile, Meatloaf is in the corner crying once again because he realized that if he lost the challenge, the other team would win, and their charity would get the money, not his. I mean, this guy is falling apart in front of national television.
All right, for $5, tell me Meatloaf's greatest song.
Oh, I don't.
Well, it's only lonely in the deep dark night. I can see paradise by the dashboard light.
I don't know. I don't know it.
1976 release? Your problem is you have no appreciation for the real roots of rock and roll.
That's not true. It's just not my, genre of expertise. So that's more you, and I'm going to stick to more pop and house music and sort of.
All right, carry on.
Carry on. All right, Vivint Entertainment has offered Pippa Middleton $5 million to do porn.
Hey, baby, take the money and run.
$5 million for one scene. Okay, it's not like this is going to be an hour or a few hour long movie. One scene, which I found that to be pretty impressive. $5 million? I mean, I wonder if she's possibly considering this.
Well, why wouldn't she consider it? She's always going to run number 2 to Prince Bill's wife.
Kate.
So, yes.
Well, she was the
Kate.
showstopper at the wedding. That was the whole talk of the town. Was her coming out in that dress?
If she could get $5 million for one porno flick, which nobody's going to buy. Nobody's going to buy. Why not do it? I mean,
I don't think she's going to do it.
How are you disgracing the family name?
I think you're disgracing the family name. I don't think her parents would be too happy about that.
I mean, we have 50 aldermen in Chicago, 48 of whom are disgracing the family name. So what's wrong with
and not by doing porn. Okay, Hines Ward apparently was held at gunpoint by LA police.
My first reaction to that was it was profiling. Which happens to black athletes.
I wonder if they knew who he was.
Time.
I wonder if, he's...
Well, first of all, there's no pro football in Los Angeles. Number 2, he plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I doubt there was an immediate
connection. Right. But what's funny about this is this car that he was in was reported stolen. And then it turns out the woman forgot to call and report that it was no longer stolen. So he's going out to dinner on his way back and gets held up at gunpoint. They put handcuffs on him. I mean, I don't really see that as being too necessary. But it wasn't his ex-wife, and it wasn't his Dancing with the Stars co-star, pro dancer. So,
by the way, have you seen, what's her name, Kirstie Alley on Dancing with the Stars?
Yes, I have. There is an episode where her pro dancer goes to lead her, one direction and completely, he can't support her and completely collapses to the ground, can't even get back up. I mean, he is like trying so hard to bite his lip and act his way through it. And it was dreadful, painful to watch.
That's how my ex-wife felt for roughly 30 years.
Oh, ouch. All right, but so
I carried her financially and she carried me physically.
She carried you physically. Okay, I'm just trying to ignore that.
Even though we avoided having sexual contact for the last 28 years of our relationship.
28?
Yeah.
How long were you guys married for?
27.
Brutal.
Are you a big fan of Bill Murray?
I am a big fan of Bill Murray, actually.
All right. The last good movie that Bill did, of course, was Lost in Translation, which was positively brilliant.
You thought, okay, I'm not a big fan of that movie, but I'm sorry.
How can you not be a fan of that movie?
I wasn't a big fan of that movie. I'm sorry.
First of all, the chick's booty in that film is out of this world.
She's attractive, but that doesn't necessarily make a good movie.
And you look at Bill Murray, and he's this aging, mega American television star who's in Japan doing a run of commercials he doesn't want to do. I mean, you have to empathize with this guy. It's really a very sad movie.
I mean, I don't feel that bad for him. He's making a ton of money by barely trying hard. And, I mean, he stands there and holds an alcoholic beverage. And, I mean, if I got paid millions of dollars to do that, I would hope that nobody was feeling sorry for me.
All right, culture clash time, wise guy. Tell me the last great film that Ice Cube did.
That Ice Cube did?
Yeah.
What a horrible comparison. I'm not saying that Ice Cube is a legitimate actor.
A legitimate actor? All of his films,
Anaconda! There you go.
All of his films do a bundle.
Yeah. I other than Anaconda, I don't, That's
By the way, going back to Schwarzenegger.
okay.
You heard it here first. Schwarzenegger will turn up in Fast and Furious 7. I guarantee you.
He
He'll
has
be there with
3
Sly
movies
Stallone.
locked down.
They're going to get all the oldies but goodies and put them in Fast and Furious 7. I remember, and I hate films like this. I remember going to see the original Fast and Furious, which I think might be the single dumbest film I have ever seen, with the exception of the 1969 Chicago Bear highlight film.
This is therapeutic for you, isn't it?
It really is.
All right, let's go back
Getting
to
a
Bill.
lot off my chest today.
Oh. So, Bill, he's about to play FDR in an upcoming adaptation.
Yeah.
And this was of Hyde in the Park. And this is about FDR and his, several love affairs, but one with a distant cousin. He also married another distant cousin, his 5th cousin, which at that
Well, he had a
time I
distant
wonder.
cousin who was also his mistress.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the movie is about. But he also then married
The film, by the
Eleanor.
way, is called Distant Cousin Meets Distant Cousin.
I mean, the only thing he has to fear is playing FDR himself.
Well, John Voight played FDR
Right.
in Pearl Harbor and was outstanding. But I think for Bill Murray, this is a great part because Bill Murray is not capable of playing the ne'er-do-well in Caddyshack anymore, for example. And, I think for Bill, this takes him at the age, I believe, of 61
Reinventing
or
himself, would you
62,
say? A good
where,
transition
where
role?
he's reinventing himself. He'll appeal to a different audience. But the problem is, I want to know why there are no good movies anymore. Why doesn't De Niro turn out a smash anymore? Why isn't Pacino giving us the kind of films that left us, riveted? Why? Because everybody wants to see, and then blame your generation because you're the ones who buy tickets. Everybody
Okay.
wants to see crap like Fast and Furious 5.
I have to agree with you. It's embarrassing. The Twilight series has made their gross domestic is embarrassingly astronomical. It's multi-million dollars. These kids are 20 years old, and it's the Twilight saga. I haven't seen any of them. I'm proud to say that.
By the way, when you go to football games and you look at players in their tight uniforms, do you check out their butts?
Haven't we already been over this? Do you? I mean.
No, but if I go to the roller derby, I check out the chicks' booties.
I mean, how irrelevant was that?
I don't think it's irrelevant at all.
Okay, another thing
What I
that's
think is
before my
irrelevant
time.
is Newt Gingrich actually thinking he can be president of the United States.
Aye. I mean, the guy hasn't been in politics
Hold on.
since.
Aye. Get a load of Ricky Ricardo.
Okay. Not a very good comparison. But, I mean, he hasn't been in politics since Bill Clinton in the 1990s. And what's so ironically hypocritical about this guy is that, he was doing a lot of insulting Bill Clinton for his affair with Monica Lewinsky, when, in fact, during that same time period, he was having his own affair. So the irony behind that, I don't really know if you can. He's the most trustworthy politician. He's a very
Bill's great
far-right
comment,
conservative, and I don't really think he has a
Do you
chance.
remember Bill's great comment about Monica? I did not have sex with that woman.
Define sex, because you did.
Well, I mean, okay,
That was
let's
the whole.
categorize.
He didn't think that
Let's
he
categorize.
technically had.
Is sex actually legitimate intercourse?
What? Yes. I mean, is sex legitimate intercourse?
Well, then isn't foreplay kind of like getting warmed up in the bullpen? Isn't that semi-sex?
No, that's not. We don't need to get into the specifics behind
Although I
this.
do realize this. You're from Libertyville, and
but that has
Libertyville,
not. No,
sex was not discovered in Libertyville till 1952.
200 years after you were born.
No, 300 years after I was born.
Okay, well, let's.
I say we bail. I say we
we-
beat the posse.
On this note,
I'm Chet Kopic. This is
Catherine Saxon.
And you've been enjoying Culture Clash, brought to you by the marvelous people at Flood Brothers. We'll catch you next time around. Meanwhile, check us out on Twitter, check us out on Facebook, because you never know what's going to happen. Next week, we explore the venue known as Semi-Sex. So long, everybody.
We won't.